Hey, Celtics Nation! We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Boston Celtics. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll always stay up to date and never miss out on any exclusive news. Jrue Holiday's recent revelation about his time with the Boston Celtics has sent shockwaves through the basketball community, igniting debates and fueling endless speculation among fans and analysts alike. In a candid interview, Holiday expressed deep regret about his stint in Boston, a franchise known for its storied history, passionate fan base, and relentless pursuit of championships. The statement, delivered with a mix of nostalgia and frustration, hinted at underlying tensions that perhaps no one outside the locker room truly understood. For a player of Holiday's caliber, who has consistently demonstrated skill, leadership, and clutch performance in high-pressure situations, admitting such regret was unexpected, creating a perfect storm for rumor mills and sports talk shows. Analysts immediately began dissecting his words, questioning whether his disappointment stemmed from team dynamics, coaching decisions, or personal struggles adapting to the Boston environment. Fans took to social media, dissecting every clip and interview, sharing opinions, speculating on hidden conflicts, and debating whether this revelation might affect future trades or team chemistry in the league. The Celtics, meanwhile, remained silent publicly, fueling even more speculation about internal issues that might have been behind the scenes during his tenure. Holiday's admission, though personal, became a public spectacle, highlighting the often unspoken pressures of playing for a high-profile team. The timing of Holiday's confession added another layer of intrigue, coinciding with Portland Trail Blazers' season preparations and ongoing discussions about roster adjustments across the league. Many commentators speculated that his statement was more than just a reflection on the past. It might be a subtle signal to current teams about his preferences, potential dissatisfaction, or career trajectory. The Celtics fan base, known for its intense loyalty and vocal opinions, was quick to respond, with some defending the franchise while others speculated about locker room chemistry, coaching styles, or perhaps even marketing strategies that didn't align with Holiday's personal approach to the game. The rumor mills suggested possible friction with teammates or management, though no concrete evidence has surfaced publicly. Meanwhile, Portland fans were abuzz with curiosity, wondering whether Holiday's honesty could signal a new phase in his career, one defined by transparency and unfiltered expression about team experiences. As analysts dissected every nuance of his words, social media became a whirlwind of commentary, memes, and heated debates, with speculation often blending with opinion, creating a complex narrative that intertwined personal regret with professional sports dynamics. Holiday's remarks became a lens through which fans and pundits alike attempted to understand the delicate balance between personal satisfaction and professional obligation in elite sports. Speculation about the reasons behind Holiday's regret also focused on his interactions with Celtics management and coaching staff. Insider sources, though anonymous, hinted at potential disagreements regarding playing style, rotation decisions, and strategic priorities that may have clashed with Holiday's own basketball philosophy. This theory added fuel to ongoing debates among basketball enthusiasts, as fans tried to reconstruct possible scenarios that could explain why a player of Holiday's stature might feel such disappointment. Analysts pointed out that professional athletes often face invisible pressures that are not evident in highlight reels or post-game interviews, and that the public rarely sees the personal sacrifices and compromises involved in adapting to a team's culture. The Celtics, a team with a history of championship expectations, may have presented an environment that, while prestigious, demanded adjustments that Holiday found difficult or personally unfulfilling. This perspective, combined with Holiday's candid statement, created a narrative that blurred the lines between personal sentiment and professional critique, prompting further discussion about how much agency players truly have in shaping their careers. Social media platforms erupted with theories, some logical, others humorous, yet all contributing to an ongoing narrative that transformed a simple reflection into a wide-reaching rumor. The conversation extended beyond the NBA, resonating with anyone interested in human dynamics within high-stakes professional environments. Rumors began swirling about how this regret might impact Holiday's current and future relationships within the NBA. Some insiders suggested that his candidness could either alienate him from certain teams wary of public criticism or elevate his status as a player unafraid to speak his mind, potentially attracting organizations that value transparency and self-awareness. The nature of professional basketball, especially in the modern era, often rewards media-savvy players who can engage audiences while maintaining performance on the court, and Holiday's statement, though risky, positioned him uniquely in this landscape. Fans speculated whether this admission could influence contract negotiations, trade talks, or even mentorship roles within the Portland Trail Blazers organization. The rumor mill, fueled by social media amplification and sports talk shows, speculated endlessly, creating a narrative that mixed real consequences with conjecture. Analysts debated whether Holiday's regret might reflect broader systemic issues within the Celtics organization, such as leadership approach, cultural fit, or team management styles, though no official comment has emerged. Meanwhile, Portland observers began connecting dots between Holiday's past experiences and his potential impact on his current team's culture, rotation, and locker room environment. The unfolding story exemplified how a single statement, layered with personal emotion, could ripple across the league and fan communities, transforming private reflection into public speculation with far-reaching implications. The ripple effects of Holiday's remarks extended beyond team dynamics, touching on broader narratives about player mobility, loyalty, and career satisfaction in professional basketball. His regret prompted fans and pundits to revisit past Celtics seasons, examining game footage, player interactions, and coaching decisions for subtle indicators of friction or misalignment. Each play, bench exchange, or post-game comment became a potential piece of evidence, feeding the rumor engine with endless possibilities. Analysts highlighted how Holiday's situation underscores the tension between personal career goals and organizational expectations, a challenge that professional athletes frequently navigate yet rarely discuss publicly. The speculation also led to conversations about how franchises handle player integration, mental health support, and the balance between performance pressure and personal fulfillment. Celtics historians and statisticians even joined the discourse, juxtaposing Holiday's stats and contributions with his perceived dissatisfaction, debating whether the team truly leveraged his skills effectively. Meanwhile, the rumor landscape expanded as insiders speculated about potential ripple effects for Celtics team cohesion and player morale. Teammates from Holiday's Boston tenure were reportedly quiet, yet rumors suggested that his statement may have prompted subtle shifts in locker room dynamics, even years after his departure. Analysts debated whether players currently on the Celtics might have anticipated such a revelation, or whether this confession would retroactively cast certain past decisions or conflicts in a new light. The discussion extended to how franchises communicate internally, manage expectations, and preserve relationships with departing players. Sports psychologists weighed in, highlighting how public admissions of regret can affect team identity, fan perception, and player self-concept. Some argued that Holiday's honesty might encourage younger players to express concerns earlier, potentially reshaping team cultures across the league. Meanwhile, Celtics management remained publicly silent, leaving room for speculation to flourish unchecked. Social media users jumped on every nuance of Holiday's statement, interpreting word choice, tone, and context as hints about unspoken tensions, creating a virtual ecosystem of rumor and interpretation. The conversation reached mainstream media outlets, with sports anchors, analysts, and YouTube commentators dissecting the implications, making Holiday's regret a multi-platform narrative that continues to grow in both intensity and intrigue. Holiday's statement also rekindled debates about the intersection of individual agency and team loyalty. Many argued that regret does not diminish his contributions to the Celtics, but rather highlights the challenges elite athletes face when personal ambitions intersect with organizational culture. Others speculated whether Holiday's reflections could influence young players considering career moves, signaling that prestige alone does not guarantee personal satisfaction. The rumor mill was particularly active around potential lessons learned, with analysts suggesting that Holiday's experience could inform both his own career decisions and the strategic approaches of other NBA players navigating complex team environments. Fans debated whether his regret might motivate future performances, a desire to prove himself in Portland, or even a subtle message to the Celtics organization about missed opportunities for mutual growth. The story became a living case study in professional dynamics, personal reflection, and public perception. Even casual observers found themselves drawn into the narrative, dissecting every quote and interaction to infer meaning beyond the words themselves. Holiday's candid admission transcended a simple personal reflection, evolving into a rumor-driven saga that touched on the very nature of professional sports, career satisfaction, and the unseen tensions lurking behind championship aspirations. As the conversation evolved, speculation intensified about how other teams might interpret Holiday's revelation. Rumors suggested that franchises across the league could view his candidness as either a risk or an asset, depending on their organizational culture, leadership style, and openness to player feedback. Analysts debated whether this transparency might affect his market value, trade prospects, or locker room influence, particularly for younger players who look to veterans for guidance. Fans on forums and social media threads dissected every possible implication, from Holiday's potential coaching aspirations to long-term fit within the Blazers roster. Meanwhile, Celtics observers revisited past games, coaching decisions, and playoff runs to uncover patterns that might explain why a player of Holiday's caliber could feel dissatisfaction. As Jrue Holiday's reflections circulated through the media, speculation about his internal motivations intensified, sparking discussions among commentators, fans, and insiders about what truly caused his dissatisfaction in Boston. Some analysts suggested that beyond coaching decisions and team dynamics, Holiday may have faced challenges reconciling his personal playing style with the Celtics' strategic approach, creating a subtle but persistent tension that lingered throughout his tenure. Rumors circulated about potential disagreements with key teammates over shot distribution, defensive responsibilities, or leadership roles, though no explicit confirmation emerged. Fans dissected every highlight, post-game interview, and social media post for hidden hints of friction, creating a narrative tapestry where fact, conjecture, and interpretation intertwined seamlessly. The league's social media ecosystem amplified every nuance, often turning minor statements into headline-worthy revelations. Meanwhile, Portland Trail Blazers observers began speculating how Holiday's candid reflections might influence his current role, leadership approach, or relationship with younger teammates, suggesting that his Boston experience could shape his mentorship style, communication strategies, and overall locker room influence. Analysts pondered whether his regret was an isolated personal sentiment or symptomatic of broader patterns affecting elite athletes navigating high-pressure, high-profile teams. Holiday's admission, though seemingly straightforward, evolved into a multi-layered discussion about personal fulfillment, professional alignment, and the often opaque inner workings of NBA franchises, captivating audiences far beyond the courts themselves. Observers speculated that Holiday's admission might serve as a subtle critique of organizational culture, prompting questions about how teams integrate players, manage expectations, and address conflicts internally. Rumors suggested that his candidness could either influence Boston's future decisions regarding team chemistry and leadership or encourage other players to be more vocal about their experiences. Analysts debated whether the Celtics management had missed opportunities to support Holiday or align team strategy with his strengths, while fans interpreted every nuance as evidence of behind-the-scenes tension. Social media commentary intensified, mixing informed analysis with imaginative speculation, creating a fertile environment for rumor propagation. Meanwhile, Portland Trail Blazers insiders reportedly discussed how Holiday's past experiences might shape his approach to current teammates, rotations, and leadership responsibilities, suggesting that lessons learned in Boston could translate into mentorship and guidance for the next generation. Pundits highlighted the delicate balance athletes must strike between personal satisfaction and professional obligation, emphasizing that public statements like Holiday's illuminate the unseen pressures of elite competition. As discussions evolved, every interview clip, highlight reel, and social media post became fodder for interpretation, reinforcing the idea that professional basketball operates within a complex ecosystem of performance, personality, and perception. Holiday's reflections effectively transformed a private sentiment into a public phenomenon, creating an intricate web of rumor, analysis, and speculation that continues to ripple across the NBA landscape. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The fan response to Holiday's confession was a blend of shock, empathy, and relentless theorizing, reflecting the intense emotional investment in professional basketball. Many supporters defended his honesty, framing it as an example of transparency in a league often dominated by carefully curated narratives, while others speculated on potential hidden conflicts, scrutinizing every detail of his Celtics tenure for signs of tension. Analysts dissected past games and interactions, searching for clues that might explain why a player of Holiday's caliber would feel regret, weighing performance statistics against intangible factors like locker room chemistry and team culture. Rumors proliferated on forums and social media threads, fueled by the human tendency to connect dots even when information is incomplete, creating an ecosystem where speculation often overshadowed verified facts. Meanwhile, Portland Trail Blazers fans and commentators began exploring the potential implications for Holiday's current team, debating whether his reflections might impact leadership roles, team dynamics, or strategic decisions moving forward. Sports psychologists and insiders contributed to the discourse, emphasizing that public expressions of regret can affect personal identity, team cohesion, and public perception simultaneously. The narrative surrounding Holiday evolved into a complex, multidimensional story, where personal sentiment, professional consequence, and public interpretation intertwined, creating a rumor-rich environment that kept fans, analysts, and media figures engaged. Speculation about the Celtics' internal response to Holiday's comments was rampant, with many observers wondering whether management or former teammates would address the statement publicly or maintain silence. Analysts debated whether the lack of official comment indicated tacit agreement, defensiveness, or simply a strategic decision to avoid fueling further rumors. Fans engaged in meticulous dissections of past press conferences, interviews, and game footage to identify possible indicators of friction or misalignment, attempting to reconstruct the unseen dynamics of Holiday's tenure. Meanwhile, Portland Trail Blazers insiders reportedly considered how Holiday's candid reflections might influence locker room dynamics, leadership roles, and mentorship opportunities, suggesting that past experiences could inform current strategies. Pundits highlighted the broader implications for the NBA, noting that players increasingly navigate high-pressure environments while managing personal fulfillment, public perception, and career trajectory simultaneously. Social media amplified every subtle detail, turning minor statements into major points of discussion, while memes, hot takes, and analytical threads created a layered narrative that transcended the original confession. Holiday's words, though seemingly simple, catalyzed a complex dialogue about team culture, personal agency, and professional satisfaction, transforming a private reflection into a public story that resonates across teams, fan bases, and media platforms. Rumors also emerged regarding potential long-term consequences for Holiday's professional trajectory, including trade considerations, leadership opportunities, and contractual negotiations. Analysts speculated whether his candidness might affect how franchises perceive his fit, either elevating him as a transparent, experienced leader or raising concerns about public criticism of former teams. Fans debated potential parallels with other players who expressed regret or dissatisfaction, weighing outcomes, career moves, and reputational impact. Portland Trail Blazers observers speculated on how Holiday might channel these experiences into mentorship for younger teammates, fostering resilience, transparency, and strategic awareness in the locker room. The narrative expanded to broader discussions about professional fulfillment, organizational alignment, and career management in elite sports, inviting multi-layered analyses from pundits and fans alike. Social media discussion flourished, fueled by clips, highlights, interviews, and interpretive commentary, reinforcing the rumor-driven environment surrounding Holiday's confession. Analysts highlighted how a single public statement could ripple across franchises, fan bases, and media ecosystems, creating speculation that blends personal narrative with professional evaluation. Holiday's candid admission, while personal, transformed into a wide-ranging story with implications for player agency, team dynamics, and league culture, captivating audiences across platforms. The story evolved further as insiders speculated about potential effects on team chemistry, locker room culture, and fan perception, highlighting the nuanced challenges professional athletes face when publicly reflecting on past experiences. Rumors suggested that Holiday's candidness could inspire other players to express opinions openly, potentially reshaping communication norms and leadership structures within teams. Analysts debated whether the Celtics management had missed opportunities to foster alignment with Holiday's strengths, while fans interpreted the statement through a mixture of nostalgia, speculation, and critical analysis. Portland Trail Blazers commentators and supporters speculated on how Holiday's reflections might influence mentorship, strategy, and team cohesion, emphasizing that lessons learned in Boston could translate into practical guidance for current teammates. The narrative became multidimensional, blending personal sentiment, professional evaluation, and public interpretation, as every detail of Holiday's statement was dissected and amplified. Social media platforms, forums, and sports talk shows served as echo chambers for opinion, rumor, and speculation, transforming a single confession into a far-reaching conversation that transcends team boundaries. Holiday's words illustrate how personal reflection in professional sports can ignite discussion, reshape perceptions, and fuel ongoing rumor ecosystems that engage fans, analysts, and insiders alike. Finally, the ongoing dialogue surrounding Holiday's admission highlights the intersection of personal satisfaction, professional ambition, and public perception in elite sports. Rumors about hidden conflicts, management strategies, and team culture continue to circulate, feeding fan curiosity and analyst speculation. Analysts note that such transparency, while potentially risky, can serve as a catalyst for broader discussions about player agency, team alignment, and professional fulfillment. Social media magnifies every nuance, transforming statements into multi-platform narratives where rumor, opinion, and interpretation intermingle. Holiday's words, though deeply personal, evolved into a story that transcends individual experience, highlighting the intricate ecosystem of speculation, analysis, and fan engagement that defines modern professional basketball. Each discussion, post, and broadcast adds layers to the narrative, ensuring that Holiday's reflections remain a dynamic, rumor-rich saga that continues to captivate audiences across the NBA landscape, shaping perceptions and fueling endless conversation. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.